You tap a cheap toy on AliExpress, and the next screen offers another toy, a cosmetic, or a gadget that looks perfectly ordinary. As a shopper, you need the marketplace's basic safety checks to work before that product reaches you. But the same marketplace could recommend or advertise an illegal item before it was effectively removed. The European Commission later found that some detected illegal goods stayed online for multiple weeks. So why could a listing survive while the marketplace kept directing shoppers toward products? The answer was not one missed listing. According to the Commission, several gates could fail in sequence. A seller could choose a category with looser checks. Detection or moderation could move too slowly. A penalized shop could remain active. Even a brand authorization check meant to stop counterfeits could be bypassed. While that happened, AliExpress's own recommendations and adverts could keep putting illegal goods in front of shoppers. Together, those findings described a connected platform problem. If you like clear explanations of the systems behind everyday shopping, subscribe, because this is where a simple listing becomes a much bigger story. But that distinction matters, because nobody found that every product on AliExpress was unsafe. The case was about whether a marketplace of enormous scale had built a system capable of finding and reducing the risk across its platform. AliExpress had declared 104.3 million monthly active users in the European Union. At that size, an ordinary-looking product card is the last step in a much larger machine. Start with the seller choosing where a product belongs. Different categories can trigger different checks. The Commission found that malicious traders could put products into the wrong category and reach one with more flexible requirements. Picture a guarded doorway beside an easier entrance. The product did not need to defeat every control if its seller could steer it toward the weaker route. But suppose the listing was detected anyway. Removal still was not guaranteed to happen quickly. The Commission said many illegal products, including counterfeit goods, unsafe toys, and dangerous cosmetics, remained online for multiple weeks even after detection. It did not publish an average removal time or a total number of listings in the material reviewed here. The supported finding is narrower, but still serious. Detection could happen while the chance to buy remained open. That delay explains only part of the title. A marketplace also has to decide how many people and tools it needs for the work arriving each day. The Commission found that AliExpress did not realistically compare its number of human moderators with their workload. It also said AliExpress overestimated how effective its detection system was. If the dashboard says the gate is working better than it really is, the platform may not know whether its response capacity matches the work waiting there. But one detail makes that measurement problem concrete. The Commission said AliExpress relied on a single quantitative indicator that was inadequate. It did not properly measure whether illegal products were being prevented from appearing or from returning in similar forms. A count can change while missing the question that matters to a buyer. Did the dangerous or counterfeit option actually disappear before someone saw it? The platform's sales machinery created the next reversal. Recommendations and advertising are designed to bring products to people, but AliExpress's risk assessment did not adequately account for the way those systems could amplify illegal goods. Commission staff tested the platform and found illegal products being recommended or advertised before effective removal. The system was not merely waiting for a shopper to discover a bad listing. Its own pathways could increase exposure during the delay. Think of two clocks running beside the same product. One clock measures how long the listing remains available. The other marks the time when adverts or recommendations can place it on a shopper's screen before removal. A safety system has to understand both, because eventual removal does not erase the period of exposure that came first. The Commission's criticism joined those clocks together. AliExpress had not adequately measured the promotional route, while its controls could leave detected illegal products online for weeks. But seller penalties exposed another gap. A policy can exist on paper and still fail at the storefront. The Commission found that stores selling illegal products could stay active despite having been penalized. That meant action against a trader did not always remove the route back to customers. Combine an active store with a weak category gate and slow removal, and the same basic failure can keep circulating through different parts of the marketplace. Counterfeit controls had another gate of their own. AliExpress operated a brand authorization system intended to check whether sellers had approval from a brand. The commission found that system ineffective and understaffed. Sellers could bypass it, listings could appear, and removal could come later. The pattern is now visible. The category check could be avoided, the brand check could be bypassed, the shop could remain active, and the recommendation system could expose the product before the cleanup arrived. Yet buyers were not the only people carrying that risk. The commission said legitimate businesses that paid for design, safety testing, and innovation had to compete with traders who bypassed those costs. That gives the weeks in this story a second meaning. Each delay could leave shoppers facing illegal goods, while compliant sellers faced rivals operating through weaker gates. The marketplace problem reached both sides of the purchase button. Only after seeing that chain do the legal labels become useful. European rules require the largest online platforms to assess broad risks created by their services and take reasonable steps to reduce them. In this case, those duties sit in Articles 34 and 35 of the Digital Services Act. Risk assessment means measuring the problem honestly. Risk mitigation means building controls that respond to what the measurement reveals. The commission concluded that AliExpress failed at both, but the path to that conclusion had two branches, and mixing them up changes the story. The commission opened a broad investigation in March of 2024. It covered illegal product risks, complaints, advertising and recommendation transparency, trader checks, researcher access, and hidden links that could steer users toward prohibited goods. In June of 2025, AliExpress offered extensive commitments on many of those concerns, and the commission made those commitments legally binding. That branch did not become a set of separate infringement findings. The unresolved branch concerned the assessment and reduction of risk from illegal products. The commission issued preliminary findings on that branch in June of 2025. Then, on the 20th of July 2026, it adopted a final administrative decision. It found that AliExpress had breached Articles 34 and 35 and imposed a fine of 550 million euros. The fine belongs to those two systemic risk failures, not separately to every concern raised when the wider investigation began. But AliExpress strongly disputes that conclusion. The company said it was surprised by the decision, called the fine disproportionate, and argued that the commission had ignored its sound risk management framework and significant improvements. It said it invests substantial resources in product safety and consumer protection. Its strongest supporting point is real. The commission accepted and made a wide package of commitments binding in 2025. AliExpress also stressed its cooperation and announced that it would appeal. The commission's answer is equally specific. It acknowledged the commitments but concluded that the remaining risk assessment and mitigation were still inadequate, at least through the preliminary findings in June of 2025. When setting the fine, it considered the nature, gravity, and duration of the infringements. It also treated the newness of the Digital Services Act as a mitigating factor. This was therefore a final decision by the commission, not a claim that AliExpress had done nothing at all. But final at the commission does not mean final in court. At the research cutoff, AliExpress had announced an appeal, and court review was not complete. There was no supported basis to say the appeal had failed, that the fine had been paid, or that every disputed finding had survived judicial review. The company also faced a compliance step. An action plan is due on the 20th of October 2026, followed by review from the European Board for Digital Services and the Commission. Return to that first product card. The Commission found weaknesses behind the screen that help explain those weaks. AliExpress could misread the scale of the risk, leave routes around its checks, keep penalized stores active, and recommend illegal goods before effective removal. A listing can look like one seller's small square on a screen. For a marketplace, safety depends on everything behind that square working before you tap buy. Subscribe for more calm explanations of the rules hiding inside everyday purchases.